Now, I make no secret about it. I don't know much of sports. I'm not a big sports guy, right?
Yeah.
However, with that said, I will tell you that not only a great basketball movie is headed your way, but just a great movie altogether in the form of The Way Back.
Yes, Ben Affleck. It's pretty amazing how someone could be so vulnerable and raw, because this movie parallels his life in so many ways with the alcoholism, the addiction problems, and for him to go ahead and just expel all of that into his creative psyche to make this movie is pretty remarkable.
Yeah,
I think vulnerable is the word. I think he's a very relatable person in so many ways. And I think to open that up in the performance in the movie, you're touched.
For the last 2 years, he's been pretty buttoned down about all of this. But have you noticed the last 6 weeks, he's been out, like it's all on the table, everything.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite press runs, when a guy's just spilling the beans.
And just being real, not those like, his publicist is probably like, but it's good. It's good to see him. It pairs well with the movie when he's so honest.
With that, I have some personal connections and history with Ben Affleck. I caught up with some of his amazing cast members and Ben in a high school gym to talk about it.
You know, for once, I started prepping for an interview, and I sat down and I looked and I thought, 23 years. 23 years I've been sitting down with you like this.
What was the first thing that you
I was your first interview, first on deck for Good Will Hunting.
Wow.
About 15 blocks from where we are right now.
Oh, wow, that's wild. Yeah, that was a long time ago.
And I'll be talking to you guys in 23 years about the same thing.
Look forward to it.
Well, they're both very talented guys. I wouldn't be surprised in one bit. I hope they give me a job.
We should all be so blessed. I'll tell you why it's so important to me, because crashing in my room that entire year of 1997, crashing in my room was my best friend, Joe Carnahan. He would sell scripts, try to get his first movie launched in New York and LA, and he'd beat the streets while I'm in talking to the likes of you.
I love Joe. He's a good guy. I love doing Smoking Aces with him, and he's one of the biggest, he's just an enthusiastic director. Like, he's such a supporter. You feel so kind of like taken care of with Joe, and everybody who works with him loves him.
Yeah, it's passion in a bottle. Fast forward, so on the set of A-Team, he had Bradley Cooper in that movie, and he was the first person to impress upon me that sober's better, and I'm 4 years sober now in front of you.
Is that right?
And alcohol put me behind bars, so you can only imagine how much this movie is speaking to me right now.
Well, congratulations, 4 years, that's pretty good.
Well, congratulations to you, and I thank all of you for being in a project that, from the get-go, is so transparent. This is more than a movie. It doesn't hit the sports cliches, it doesn't hit the addiction cliches, it transcends that, and the way you guys are talking about all of this is so important.
Yeah, I think I would hate to see like a cliched addiction movie. I think any alcoholic or addict, like, they're the last people that want to see some sort of like predictable, preachy story. It was important to me that it be honest, real, and that it subvert those expectations, both as a sports movie where you expect, okay, now this is going to happen, and as a movie about addiction, which have kind of classic tropes that you've come to expect. And this movie resists those in a way that I think makes it more satisfying because it makes it feel more real.
Yeah, the movie, if you haven't guessed, is about a high school coach, and so we decided to have the setting of that interview in a high school gym on the basketball court. I do know Gavin O'Connor, who directed this film, knows a lot about sports with the MMA and Warrior and some of the other movies he's done. He really connects the sports to the cinematography. I, however, talked to him about Ben Affleck, and going into this movie knowing that Ben was going into rehab at the same time.
Wow.
What's beautiful about it, I'm a producer as well, and so I've been the liaison between that element and the financiers when something's going wrong. And you have Ben that, is fully transparent, and amen to him for being so fully transparent. Kudos to him throughout this whole process. But that's happening right as you're in pre-production on this.
You mean Ben's going to rehab?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I introduced Ben and Brad, the writer. The three of us met, and then like 2 days later, I'm texting Ben, I'm calling, and like for a couple of days I got nothing, and that's not, and I'm like, oh, what's going on here? And then he was just out of contact for a couple of days, and then we all read what happened. So I didn't know if this was all going to come to an end, a screeching halt or not. And then, with the studio, who was great and supportive and allowed me to go up to rehab and sit down with Ben and kind of figure out, is there a way to do this now that you're, and it was actually a blessing because now he's in rehab, he's working on his recovery, and he would get furloughs every day with a sober buddy to come meet with me, and we do our work, He'd meet with the kids, we'd do our work on the court, and then he would go back. And then right when he got out of rehab was our first day of principal.
Yeah, I know we're early in the year. That guy's not a stranger to Academy Award nomination. I think you might see another Academy Award nomination for Gavin O'Connor for this film.
Yeah, I like a human basketball coach movie. By that I mean a guy with real flaws.
Yeah.
A human, a person, and we see them walk into the situation and attempt to overcome it.
Yeah, it's funny, you're talking about the character, but at the same time, couldn't we be saying the same thing about Ben Affleck? I like a really open, flawed Ben Affleck. The fact that he's admitting, though, I've never seen an actor quite as cracked open as he is right now.
He is wide open and talking about everything I think that he's been neglecting to talk about all this time, but I think he's ready to take that next step, just like you said, just in the movie, same thing.
Exactly. Supporting this movie from his ex-wife. Wait, did I just plot spoil?
No, Janina Gavankar. She's an amazing actress.
Right, see, I think the trailer tells you that they're not doing really well when the movie opens up.
Or you just gave away everything, but
Yeah,
it's
maybe.
okay.
His sister's Michaela Watkins. I like her.
Yes.
She was in Brittany Runs a Marathon.
Oh yeah, that's right. She's big with the sports.
And the movie takes place in a high school, so I talked to him in a high school. Take a look.
If I really delve into this movie, I'm going to start bawling. This
Fine
movie,
with it. Bring it on. Bring on the
touched
tears.
me. Look, I sit here not in judgment. I'm a guy who, I did time. I was behind bars because of alcoholism and making bad choices.
Wow.
And then to see a movie like this, where there was probably a time in my life where if a buddy came to me and said, watch this movie, think about it, it probably would have made me make some better choices.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Don't you think this might be more than a movie?
I mean,
Well,
yeah.
one would hope so.
I definitely, I mean, Ben is an amazing actor, and so his characters, for some reason, beyond just being like, oh wow, he did such a great portrayal of that character, he does this thing that like movie stars get to do, which is like he lifts it and expands it and then gives it to you, and it's like now it's yours, and like inspires people. It's just very strange.
There's so many great scenes for you. The lunch scene specifically, because it's not like the pinnacle of the movie at any point, but there's so much that starts to change in you in that you really have to delve into. So
Yeah, I mean, that is a woman who has to courageously tell the man she really loves that she's moving on and seeing somebody else, even though she doesn't want to, because she knows it's what's best for her. So I'm proud to be able to play somebody who is strong enough to make sure she's okay.
Those ladies are intense and awesome, and intense and awesome in the movie too. I can't tell you enough how much I love this movie. And you guys might think, well, maybe because I have a personal connection to former problems with the bottle. Maybe it's my love of basketball. No, it's not that.
It's your love of Ben Affleck.
A love of Ben Affleck. I don't know, but this movie is under my skin, and I'm telling you, you will love it too. Go see The Way Back.
It's not preachy.
That's what I'm
huge.
talking about.
A
It's
lot
not
of
preachy.
people don't want to see this movie because they think it's going to be very preachy, but it is
Exactly.
not at all.
That's right. This guy is preachy.
Yes, I am. Am I?
What do
This is
you
great.
preach about?
I don't know what I'm preaching about.